Never
Christy,
before
did
in
you hit
history have
go?
we felt more interconnected. Everyone's actions have the power to impact the health and well-being of everyone else's actions. We truly are all in this together. And together, we can bounce back better, stronger, smarter. Given this incredibly difficult time, when fundraising is down and the desperate need for help is up, let's work together in helping those who need us most. Starting November 10 and 11, for 14 straight Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we will host Bounce Back, a global symposium where we will share stories of overcoming great odds to create great meaning in this world. We'll explore how champions bounced back from failure, adversity, or poverty to do great things. We'll discover how business leaders created great wealth and significance, and how you can too. These winners didn't do it at the expense of others, but with the help of their fellow brothers and sisters. They showed compassion, love, kindness, and humility as they attracted like-minded people to join their tribe. We want to highlight some of the most inspiring and influential difference makers, the men and women who've influenced this world like we've never seen before. Bounce Back, better, stronger, and smarter is brought to you by Together We Can Change the World, empowering and educating less fortunate children and women in Southeast Asia to live a better life. And Leaderonomics, a social enterprise empowering our youth and giving them the skills and tools necessary to build a better future. Yes, together we can change the world.
Hey, Chester Elton here, coming to you live and in color from beautiful Rancho Mirage, California, the new gratitude epicenter of the universe, with a special edition of Leading with Gratitude Live. I am so honored, really, to have two wonderful guests, a new friend and an old friend. Let me introduce you to Roshan Thiran. He was one of the co-creators of this Bounce Back. I love the better, stronger, smarter as we go through COVID. And a dear old friend of mine, we've known each other for a long time, Scott Friedman. He's a delightful speaker, author. He's got a new book out called A Celebration Every Day, 365 Days to Make Your Workplace More Fun and Engaging. He's also the co-founder of Together We Can Change the World. And this conference that's coming up, and I'm going to start with you first, Roshan.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about how this came about. I mean, COVID has hit. There are so many people in need. And you seized the reins and said, hey, we can make a difference, and here's how we're going to do it. So give us the background and inspire us and invite us all to this wonderful conference.
Sure. So a couple of things that are happening. You know, we have been running conferences every year to raise money for marginalized communities and underprivileged kids and youth and women, empowering women. So really helping the NGO community in Southeast Asia. But this year, right, we had all our conferences and events canceled or postponed because of the pandemic. But we saw the need was even greater. There were more, many more of these NGOs and charities. They needed more because there were more and more people that needed their services. The second thing was giving was going down. And so Scott and I, we spoke and we said we have to do something. And why don't we pull together a global symposium or a global summit? In the end, it ended up being a series where we said, let's provide good leadership development to the community. In exchange, they will pay money, and all that money, 100% of it, will be donated to charity, to these causes that we support. So essentially, that's how it started. And one by one, talking to people like you, Chester, and Jack Canfield and others, one by one, global leaders all came together and said, we want to support this, and we want to be part of it, right? And then we got Microsoft involved, providing the technology, and Nicole providing a learning platform that enables us to learn over a period of a year. So, one by one, things just mushroomed, and ultimately we have this event that we have right in front of us.
I love with technology, the world has become such a small place. We go live, we go LinkedIn Live, and we've got Leslie's joined us, and Wagner, Sergio Barbosa Vieira is here, and Vivian Joseph Thomas. People tune in from all around the world. And Scott, it's so funny. We are both living in the States, and yet we first met in Singapore. I mean, the world is like this big, right? But by the way, Scott Friedman has got one of the biggest hearts of anybody I know. He's constantly involved in good works. And he's so funny. He'll call me from time to time, And it's always interesting. He always says, Chester, would you? And I go, Scott, when have I ever said no? Like, when have I ever said no? So tell us a little bit how together we can change the world and where this money's going to go for Bounce Back.
So Together We Can Change the World started in 2008. Janice Danfield and I had been in the region for about 10 years up to that point. And we just fell in love with the graciousness of the different communities in Southeast Asia. And we were just so touched by how much the pockets of poverty all over Southeast Asia. And so we thought, let's raise some money for some good causes. So our very first trip in 2008, we had 6 speakers. We found a promoter partner in Bangkok, and we traveled to, we did programs in Bangkok and Malaysia, raised money for some good causes. And it was so fulfilling for those of us that were on that first trip that we thought, we need to continue to do this. And thus, Together We Can Change the World was created. Now, 12 years later, we're in 5 countries. We have 20 causes that we support. And the one big thing that we've learned in those 12 years is the best use of our time and resources is providing skills to those less fortunate so that they can be on equal footing. We're talking about technology that, in fact, we had our 1-year anniversary for the refugee film school in Malaysia, where where Roshan is, and where one of the events we did live last year, we supported with $10,000 for this refugee school. We're teaching them the video editing skills so that they can compete on Fiverr and Upwork, and they may not, in some cases, maybe not have a lot of food to eat, but yet they're learn the skills and they're supporting their families. So that's how it started. And then as Roshan mentioned a little earlier, when we couldn't go live, we had 18 speakers coming over to Southeast Asia in July for a 4-country leadership tour. And when we had to cancel, that's when Roshan and I put our heads together and said, hey, I think it's time that we reinvent ourselves during this time. So here we are.
Yeah, it's so fun. And for all of you that are tuning in, and we love our gratitude, group and our community. And my brother Byron is even tuning in from Los Angeles. And so I would encourage you all to, take this message and amplify it through your networks as well. So give us a little more information on the dates and times so that we can all tune in to help, because one of the things I love that you're doing with the money that you're raising is it's the old adage, right? If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. You teach a man to fish and he'll feed himself forever. So it's not just saying, hey, here's a loaf of bread. Here's a skill that then you can build into a business. Did I get that right?
Yep. No, and I think the idea is that what we want to do is not just do a one-off event, because we have a lot of that where people come, they get inspired, and yet there is no action to drive change. So the idea is transformation. How do we help a person? And that's why when we talk about bounce back, right? Better, stronger, smarter. It's not bouncing back to the past. It's bouncing back to your goals, right? So you have a specific goal, right, that you want to achieve. How do you bounce back to that goal? And your goal may have been derailed by all the issues and the obstacles that have come your way because of the pandemic, because of lower sales, because of whatever may be the cost, right? But how do you bounce back to that goal? And what we want to do is bring speakers to inspire. So people like you, and people like Juliet Fan, Immaculée, who was a refugee in Rwanda, and how she went through that genocide and how she escaped it. But more importantly, how she overcame obstacles to not be a victim, but to be a survivor, right? And then bring in folks with capability of research to say, here are tools, here are processes that you too can do to bounce back to your goals. So it's not bouncing back to the past, because when we say bounce back, sometimes people perceive it as, look, let's just bounce back to 2019. But that's not going to happen, right? It's really about, look, I have a clear goal, but I was here and I was towards this path towards a goal, but my goal's been derailed and now it's down here. So how do I find a new path to bounce back to that goal, but better, stronger, and smarter, right? And not in the same way, because of digitization, it's bound to happen. So there are many small, medium enterprises that are struggling. How do we sell? How do we get new customers, right? So the idea is to provide this in a series. So the series actually is, we have 14, 15 speakers every week on Wednesday. There's different speakers. there's actually another slide on the series. So we have different things that happen in a series, but after that, what happens is that we have coaching. So we have a guy called Justin and Justin Cohen from South Africa and Jean Marie. They do coaching on a weekly basis. Yeah. So you see that there's 12 sessions. Then there's coaching. There's also access to Nicole. Now, Nicole's one of the most powerful learning experience platforms, and you get it for 1 year. And inside Nicole, there's a community. There's what we call a bounce back community, where you have speakers. Myself and Scott will facilitate it, but we also have this thing called Ask Me Anything. So we bring in people like Paul Larson, famous experts. Jonathan Lau is a sales expert. These guys are going to come and you can go in on a weekly basis and ask them anything. So you have that coaching element, you have the Ask Me Anything, you have facilitation by Scott and myself, and you have on a weekly basis every Wednesday in Asia at 10 a.m. or in a Singapore, Malaysia time, or if you're in the US, it's 9 p.m. On a Tuesday night. So on a Tuesday night every week, there is a global speaker. I mean, this Tuesday is a free session, so you're all welcome to attend. Jamie Andrews, who lost all 4 limbs, right? He lost both his legs and both his hands, and yet he has been able to transform himself to climb mountains, and not just any mountains. I mean, he's scaled the Swiss Alps, which is an icy peak. So it's an exciting series, and we think it's a huge value. It's $120 US, which is for a full year leadership development series. I mean, you don't get that too often. But the good news is that 100% of that $120 will go to causes. Will go to causes in Southeast Asia, essentially. Scott, you want to add to that?
Yeah. So in the U.S., the timing is Mountain Time. It will be run at 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Central Time, and 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So, and Chacha, you asked a question about the different causes. So of the causes, right there in Malaysia, we talked about it's MSRI, which is the Malaysian Social Research Institute. They do a lot of good, but what we're involved with is the Refugee Center. We just built a new technology center. We're going to be providing computers for the technology center for not only the students. There's 250 that attend in the morning, 250 in the afternoon, and then also the families, because they run from war-torn countries like Somalia and Sudan and Afghanistan, and so the parents, who they may be very, the doctors or pharmacists or whatever, real estate, and so they come to Malaysia. The government doesn't let them work, so they, in a traditional sense, so they have to figure out a way to make a living, and so the refugee school is taught by the families, the parents of these kids, and it's really amazing. So that's one of our causes. Roshan on the Leaderonomics show here a couple weeks ago had Jenny Lipa, and Jenny is a founder of an organization called Cambodian Community Dream Organization. It's theccdo.org, and they do some amazing things. But we have 3 programs with them that we do. We feed 1,200 kids every morning, and it's been really difficult because since they've been out of school, that's where the kids get their most nutritious meal, and it's fairly easy to feed 1,200 kids. We partner with Food for Good, who's been working with Together We Can Change the World for many years. Originally started in Malaysia, now they're out of Hong Kong. So we feed 1,200 kids every day. We have a dental program where we identify high-risk kids in pain, and then we get them free treatment. And we've created this also a dental hygiene awareness program to teach the kids about how to take care of themselves. And we provide toothbrushes and training on, just take care of their teeth. Then we have a well program where there's a lot of the village kids and families that do not have running water and clean water. So we provide wells. We've have built close to, I think, 300 and some odd wells now in the past.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's another one of my favorite programs, but there's 20 of those type, but there's 6 that we really focus on that we've made we invest in champions on the ground that are doing great things. And again, it's more about the education so that we can, what you said about teach them how to fish, not give them a fish.
Yep.
Right.
Another program, Chester, that's very amazing, has get great impact, is this thing called MAD movement, MAD being make a difference. And this is with kids, right? Kids aged 13 to 18, where they come up with project ideas. And what we do is we give them funds to actually make these project ideas come about. And you'll be amazed, 13-year-olds, right? They go to a Aboriginal village where there's no water, there's no sanitization, nothing, right? They actually build toilets, they build plumbing, they build water, they bring water from the river all the way into the village, which is a couple of miles away, and allow these villagers to actually have a life. So it's amazing, some of these different initiatives that is going to get funded through this. And the website we had just now, bouncebacksummit.org. You just go there, you'll be able to click. You can even give this to somebody, right? So it's Thanksgiving is coming, Christmas is coming, right? What better gift to give someone than the gift of learning? I always say that everything leaves you except that intangible that you get from learning, right? And it's a great opportunity. Go there. There's gift cards where you can gift a learning or give the Bounce Back Summit to a friend or to a colleague or even to a loved one. So it's a great opportunity, and to be part of something very exciting.
Yeah, I think the timing is great. It's Thanksgiving coming up in the U.S. We've got Christmas coming. It's Diwali, the celebration of lights. This is the time of year. It's just full of positivity. The other thing, and Scott, I know you can speak to this, is a U.S. dollar goes a long way in Malaysia. And so people say, well, I can't contribute big money. You say, listen, $5, $10, $20. It goes a long way in Malaysia to bringing, like you say, clean water, sanitation, teaching kids and funding their businesses. So I couldn't be more proud to be a part of your conference. So really, everything and anything you want to know. Nadira, said, hey, can I tune in from Jakarta? It's absolutely. Go to this website. You'll get all the information you need. Well, I love LinkedIn Live, and I love that we can do this in a really compact way. We can get people excited, send them to the right websites. I'm going to come back to you, Roshan. So if there are 3 things that people can do to support this cause and to get involved in this conference, what would they be?
Yeah, so I think the first thing is to sign up, right? To me, if you can sign up, right, it's a great sign. But when you signed up, right, you will be part of a bounce back community. I think once you get part of the community, then engage in the community, because you will not only get, because we are adding the NGOs into this community, right? So when you sign up, you get access to this community. You can engage, you can learn, you can develop yourself. So engagement is absolutely critical, because that helps you to grow, helps you to open your eyes. One of the things I think is frustrating is that you need some sort of hyper awareness to be able to connect dots. And if you're not able to see things, you're never able to understand what's happening in the world. So the second part is really about engaging. And I think the third part, is really about, once you engage, right, if you see, people that have needs, or you see people, you can make a difference. Making a difference is not about, you flying over to a Cambodia and make a difference in your own space, right? How do you help somebody? Because one little help creates a ripple effect, and that ripple effect cascades and grows exponentially. So to me, it's really about that. It's really about sign up, engage, and ultimately, after you engage, make a difference wherever you are. I think those would be my 3 things that I'd leave with you.
Yeah, we've got our wonderful producer, Christy Lawrence, in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia, and she's popping up all these lower thirds. I think I'm going to add a 4th one to that. I sign up, engage, make a difference where you are. And then, Christy, if you want to send as much money as you can. I think that's probably a good one to wrap up. Scott, tell us.
Just, I want to ask you, you'll be sharing at the summit. And you'll be, it's in a couple of weeks around the 24th, I think is your session. What that, give us a teaser of something that you will share, and people want to sign up to hear Chester, so.
And the reason that we asked Chester to do it the week of the 24th, it's the week of Thanksgiving in America. And who better than the Leading with Gratitude guy? So we so appreciate you saying yes. And you are one of the most gracious people I've ever met, and so to learn from you is such an honor on Thanksgiving week. So give us a little teaser.
Yeah, well, thank you. Well, you're making me blush, although you can't tell because I'm all in orange. I'm going to share with you the latest and greatest research that we have around our new book, actually, that we published earlier this year, called Leading with Gratitude. And the title of this session is Leading with Gratitude Now More Than Ever. I think right now, particularly as we go through these pandemics and these economic downturns, that the principles around leading with gratitude are wonderful. And we've got the data to prove it, that it's a great way to lead in business. We also have a wonderful section at the end of the book that I want to share with our listeners when we do it, and viewers, in how to lead a grateful life. So the data shows that not only is it a great way to lead in business for extraordinary business results, it's also just a better way to live. We're going to talk about assuming positive intent, being more kind, being more grateful, being more of service to people in your families, in your communities, and in your businesses. It's a lovely message, and I'm very honored that you had asked me to participate. Scott, whenever we call, he calls me and he says, "Will you do it?" And I say, "I'm always a sucker for a good cause," and you always have a good cause, so it's never hard.
Even if I'm the cause, is that a good cause?
There you go. That's right. Yeah, we're all a work in progress, Scott. We're all a work.
Thank you.
Well, listen. As always, we've got the website there. Well, thank you for your time. I thank you, Jonathan, for tuning in, and Greg and Leslie and Sheehan and my brother Byron, who is always my biggest cheerleader just over there in LA. Wagner, you guys are all great. Please amplify the message. Tell your friends about it. Go to the website. Share it with people. Tune into the various speakers and so on. It's going to be just a celebration of positivity. It's going to raise a bunch of money for people that really need. The goal is 200,000 American. Now, wouldn't it be wonderful if we got 200,000 people to donate $1, because we could build this community, right? Having said that, don't hesitate, if any of you, to write just a check for $200,000 as well. So whether it's $1 or 200,000 or anything in between, please give what you can. And we understand that it's tough on everybody. $1 goes a long way. $5 goes a long way. We want to build some momentum. We want to help a bunch of kids. And, Roshan and Scott, I'm honored to know you. I'm honored to call you friends. Looking forward to the conference. Yeah. We've got a tradition whenever we do Leading with Gratitude Live, whether it's a teaser or a regular show on Thursday, we dance it out. We just want to have a little. Yes. Now, don't worry about it, because I am the worst dancer of all time. So, Christy, join us. Sashi, join us. Christy's our wonderful producer. Sashi's the one who put together those amazing videos. Maybe we can put up that video one more, fill people in, and let's have some fun. Tune in. Tune in.
Right. And I was burned almost to death. 60% of my body burned. You'd never want to experience that.
Well, the pressure's really on now for John Register from the USA. 5.57, the mark to beat.
It is your choice to jump.
The best thing that ever happened to David was Goliath.
Ask not what happens to you, but what can you learn from those situations that's going to make you even stronger, that is going to make you even smarter.
Because the person has to make that individual commitment themselves.
Less for self, more for others, and enough for all.
Awesome. Hey, listen, guys, thanks so much for your time. Thanks all of you for tuning in. Together we can change the world, right, Scott?
Got it. Thanks, Chester. Sure appreciate it.